morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It is time once again for Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams. Don't forget, of course, this program is being heard and seen around the world on a live video. That's available to you from our website at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is where the link is located. And one click there will get you where you need to be. If you're on your mobile device, YouTube will do the work. Just put Mornings with the Leader Man in the search. Leader Man, all one word, is spelled like it sounds to get the results to the top. And if you're on your mobile device just needing our audio, we suggest many streaming services like TuneIn, iTunes, Streama. Alexa will do it for you. Google Assist will do it. Is that what they call the Google thing, Google Assist?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you about that strange voice in a moment.
I'm not Jeff and Drag.
Oh, rats. No, but they'll all play it for you if you ask. Just put WEEB into that search so you get it to the top. And there are a lot of other results you'll get to have WEB tied to it. But look for our logo, 97.3 in there, and that's the one you want. And if you're on a website, you can always get our stream in the upper right-hand corner of every single web page. Just click that icon that says On the Air, Listen Live. Tap it once, and you're listening just that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills area, well, you knew the Muggies would be here along with some rain. Mostly cloudy, scattered thunderstorms, a high of 84. Then tonight, still cloudy, still thunderstorms, low of 67. More of the same tomorrow, but a 30% chance. Look for a high of 86. Then for tomorrow night, look for a 30% chance, 69 for a low. Sunday, we'll go back to a 50-50 shot of scattered showers. Otherwise, cloudy for, Sunday's no special day, right?
No, nothing special on Sunday, just a Sunday.
All right. Anyway, so for a no special day Sunday, look for a high of 83. And then for Monday, back to sunshine and lower humidity, because humidity is going to be in the 64, 68 range over the weekend. And that's not good.
No, it's pea soup out there this morning.
That voice you're hearing is our office manager, Dorothy Macklick, who has been here for...
entirely too long. I don't even know. What, 7, 8 years?
Around 8 years.
Going on 8 years,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah. And she took over running the place first day she got here.
No, it wasn't. It only feels like that.
Yeah. But she's married to the geek, and they have... Dorothy has 5 little geeks of her own.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Girls and one boy.
2 boys.
That's right, 2 boys. That's right.
Yeah.
Last 2 were boys.
Yep, my last 2 were boys.
Mm. And one's already graduated college. The other one's in college. One going to college next year.
Yep.
So there goes her pocketbook.
Yep, pretty much.
And then
say number 4 will be a junior.
Junior. So
and number 5 will be starting school in the fall.
Okay.
So for those who remember number 5, when he was born 5 years ago, he's going to school.
We had him on the air live here quite often.
He likes the radio.
No, I'm talking about when he was crying.
That's what I mean. He likes the radio. He wanted to be on the radio.
Yeah, he'd be up there, and even in the soundproof booth, you can't block that crying.
He's just very vocal. What can I say?
Yeah.
He's a talker.
But he finally got over the crying, and then not so bad.
Nope.
No, he's a pretty well-behaved boy.
Yes, he is.
Stays in his area.
Yes, he does.
Stays content. Mm-hmm. Can't ask for more than that.
Nope.
Kind of like when I carry Nick somewhere, I don't have to worry about him being all over somebody's office or sniffing on them all over the place.
He just comes in, sits down, and is like, okay, I'm here.
He's going to lie next to me and be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows that's better than sitting in the car. So.
Yep. See, he's learned.
So he stays quiet. Cole's pretty quiet when I take him. If he's on leash, he's very obedient.
Yeah. Well, he's got some beagle in him, so he's going to be nosy.
Yeah. But somebody must have had him. They had him before me because I got him from a shelter.
Yeah.
Must have given him some leash training because he's always been comfortable with the leash and behaved. But you take him off the leash, different dog.
Yes, he is. He lets the beagle instinct kicks in. The leash cuts off that beagle instinct.
Yeah, you had a beagle, so you've been there.
Yes. Yeah. And when my beagle got to a certain age, he was just like, yeah, forget this running around thing. I'm just going to sit here and be old.
How old was that?
Well, I had him 8 years.
8 years.
But he was a rescue. He was found running around Moore County, and I took him home.
So no telling how old he was.
So I really don't know how old he was, but I had him 8 years.
Okay. Well, we remember the good days of Henry.
Yes, we remember the good days of Henry. He was a good dog.
Yeah.
A little stupid at times, but he was a good dog.
We were talking off mic about the Miss North Carolina pageant. Miss USA pageant last night. Mm-hmm. Don't know what channel it was on. I know it's on an off channel like Reels or...
Yeah, wherever they stick stuff like that nowadays.
RFD channel. I forget. Something like that carries it. So that's why you didn't hear about it. You didn't hear who won it, did you?
I didn't.
Let's find out together, shall we?
Okie dokie.
Miss USA 2019 is North Carolina.
So that'll be the only time you hear her name. Actually, you didn't hear it
I was
there.
saying, you didn't hear her name.
Yeah.
You just heard Miss North Carolina.
Her name is Chelsea Christ.
Huh.
She won. And, yeah, they don't have a whole lot of... They don't have a talent contest. It's all visual.
Yeah, it's all visual now. I don't know what they've done to it, but it just seems, I don't know, lackluster. I remember it used to be something we'd make it a point to watch. Or at least when I was a kid, we made it a point to watch, my sister and I. But nowadays, it's like, oh, you see it in the headline, off to the side, and keep right on scrolling.
It's like the Miss America pageant. You don't see it anymore. It's
on
an off channel.
Yeah, it's off to the side.
Yeah. So there's just so much out there, and with so many things trying to push its way on television and everything else. It's like what they had, the Grammy Awards this week, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know it until it was over with.
Yeah.
Didn't care. Wasn't going to watch it anyway, but...
Yeah, I never noticed those things happening until after they're done, and you see the headline, oh, this is what happened at whatever awards show last night. It's like, oh, that was this week? Or that was yesterday?
Yeah,
I don't see it.
It's just so much people on social media and promoting it. And on television, you know, you get so bombarded with commercials.
Yes.
That it gets to the point you don't see them anymore.
Pretty much.
Or you see them so often that you get annoyed with them.
Do what I do. We time them so that, you know, if there's a commercial, you run into the kitchen, you refill your drink, or you get a snack, or you run to the bathroom, and you try to beat it back.
Yeah.
And the mute button's still a wonderful thing.
Well, that's the same way with me. I mean, I just flick to watch a baseball game for a few minutes and try to stay awake. That's my challenge.
Yeah, it's baseball.
Yeah. I mean, it's an intricate sport. If you really understand it, it's kind of like watching a chess game.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are right down to, well, this next batter, he hits 220 against the right-hander and 460 against the left-hander, so don't want to be throwing the left-hander against him. So let's stop the game, pull in the right-hander, and let's not lower his odds of hitting the ball. You know, that's just how scientific it is.
Yeah.
And the other part of the game, the most thrilling part, is watching the coaches in the dugout, seeing who can spit the sunflower seed the furthest.
I've never noticed that, but then again, I don't think I've ever actually watched more than about 10 minutes of baseball at a time.
Another exciting part of a baseball game is watching the first base runner. If they'll stay on, give him a shot there, you know, a split screen shot, counting how many times he spits between the pitches. But there's something about a baseball field that just, as soon as you step on it, it's the curse of baseball. Mojo falls all over you, and you can't resist spitting.
I've never noticed that.
You must spit.
Maybe that's why I don't like baseball. There's too much spitting.
And then why, you know, this mojo settles on you, and it just tends to get you itchy down there in the growing area, and you got to scratch that too. It's just inherent in the game. It just, don't know why, but it is.
Huh. You've watched more baseball than I have.
It is spit, 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 and now the cool thing is to put a whole sunflower seed in your mouth, open it up with your teeth, get the meat out, and spit the shell
Shells.
back.
I can only imagine what the field looks like after a baseball game.
Yeah. The field maintenance crew comes up, they know where the coaches are because
There's the pile.
there's the pile. They got a big barrel of sunflower seeds sitting behind them somewhere in there.
I'm sure.
I guess they at least the tobacco's down some.
This is true. It's a little healthier to spit sunflower seeds everywhere.
Yeah, because it just got old watching them constantly spitting tobacco juice.
Yeah,
I mean, the
that's
overwhelming urge for snuff and chewing tobacco in your mouth, just
Yeah, I don't think so.
there's still some of that, but it gets old. Slows down the game because nothing's cooler than a big wad of spit going out.
Oh, what a disgusting visual.
Well, you know what else is coming up this weekend is Cinco de Mayo.
That's right. That's on Sunday.
Yeah. Ever wonder how Cinco de Mayo celebration began? Well, so did we.
I was just like, yeah, I have no idea how it began.
This old school film from the 60s may have the answers. Could somebody get the lights and I'll start the projector here.
Instructional Films presents Cinco de Mayo, remembering Mexico's resistance to French rule on May 5th, 1862. The holiday is virtually ignored in Mexico, but thanks to slick marketing campaigns, it's a hit in the U.S. Look, there's the board of directors for the beer companies, laughing all the way to the bank. And there's Jeff, who drank too many cervezas and tried to drive home. He got pulled over by the police. Cinco de Mayo, because St. Patrick's Day was almost 2 months ago.
Okay. You can get the lights again.
Okay.
And in case you're wondering what the Cinco de Mayo forecast is going to be, let's check in with the Weather Channel.
And now your Cinco de Mayo forecast from the Weather Channel. Look for continued eating of Mexican food turning to severe flatulence. There will be widely scattered tequila bottles, followed by high intoxication turning to praying for the porcelain god, mixed with a nasty hangover the following morning. Chance of getting lucky with the hot bartender, 0%. This has been your Cinco de Mayo forecast from the Weather Channel.
Now, the other thing you need when you're out partying on Cinco de Mayo is
Okay.
the ability to speak Spanish correctly.
Yeah.
So thus we have language lessons of the day, Cinco de Mayo style.
And now it's time for Language Lesson of the Day.
Repeat after me. Fue una fiesta fantástica. Pero, perdóname, vomité en la gaveta de ropa interior, which means your party was great. Oh, sorry, I vomited in your underwear drawer.
Hasta la bamba.
Okay, if you
Okay.
haven't kept up with Game of Thrones, well, we're going to throw some spoilers in here, so you
I've seen it.
don't want to hear it, then
Close your
it's
ears.
not that big a spoiler.
Okay.
Series record 17.8 million viewers watched on Sunday as Arya Stark annihilated the Night King. Major characters killed in the epic battle have been bleeped from this song
Okay.
that we play every week as a recap of what's going on in Game of Thrones.
From King's Landing across Westeros to Winterfell, who will survive Season 8? Only time will tell. Will it be Grey Worm the Hound or Podrick Payne, Cersei Gilly Gendry or Tormund Giantsbane, Jon Snow, Little Sam, Lord Varys, Bronn or Jon and Daenerys? Will Sunday Tyrion the Onion Knight, or will Sansa Stark be the one to survive? Samwell, Tarly, Brienne of Tarth or the Mountain, Drogon, Rhaegal, either one of her dragons, Jaime the Knight or Mil, or the guy with the three-eyed raven, Jon, Qyburn or Arya, Euron or Yara, who the will claim as unknown on Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I didn't like them killing off the young queen.
Oh, yeah.
Before she stabbed the giant in the eye, but
Yeah. That was kind of sad.
yeah, that wasn't right.
No. But she died the way her mother did, fighting a battle.
Yeah.
She was a feisty little girl, wasn't she?
Yeah. A lot of, that's why they let her have a noble death. Mm-hmm. At least that's what the producer said afterwards.
Yeah.
That she was a good actress who had that feistiness, and so therefore they wrote in a...
She was supposed to be, I think, a one-scene character or something like that,
Yeah.
and they liked her so much they gave her a few more scenes.
But a lot of people complained that it was it was shot, the whole fight took place at night.
I
And
realize
people
it
were
was-
complaining that they couldn't see it as good as they'd like to.
Yeah, I felt it was kind of dark, but it could have been just me. I don't know.
It could have been in the daylight, but how would that make it better?
It wouldn't. Well, that's just it. It was supposed to be the long night, so it had to be dark.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The lighting choices did make it difficult, in my opinion. It made it difficult to see, and I guess that was part of the ambiance of that particular episode, was to get you feeling like you were there in the battle, because they couldn't see, so you can't see.
Mm-hmm. Well, you remember in the episode before, the guy comes up and says, they'll be here before daylight.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, okay, if it's way up there in the Arctic Circle somewhere, daylight might not be for 7 months.
This is true.
Don't know how long it's going to take them to get there. But anyway, they showed up, and battle went on, and Ariel pulled out
She was no one, so she did her job.
the dagger with what kind of steel?
Valerian steel.
Valerian steel.
Yeah, her Valerian steel dagger.
And jabbed the king around his chest plate, and
Yeah, right into his side. Right into his heart, I believe.
and he exploded into ice cubes.
Yeah,
And even the bad dragon fell dead.
of course. Everything that was made by the Night King fell dead.
Yeah.
That's why it worked.
Okay.
They had to have a way for them to win.
I would guess the next two episodes going to be taking on the bad queen.
Yeah, they're gonna.
What's her name?
Cersei.
Cersei.
Yeah, they're gonna. Next is the battle for the throne with Cersei and
Yeah.
those to the south.
And one person will sit down as king of all seven.
Ruler of all 7 kingdoms.
Yeah. And now that Jon, is that his name?
Yeah, well, Jon Snow.
Jon Snow has found out genetically he's the rightful heir to the throne.
That's the next big question. What's he gonna do with that information now?
Well, he told her, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
But
Told
there was no indication of how either one, it was just the information was passed, but she didn't seem to react, and he doesn't know how to react, so we don't know how they're going to deal with that information.
Well, you don't take off a woman with 2 dragons, I can tell you that.
This is true.
All she has to say is, pourquoi? Your barbecue.
Yeah, and she's pretty much the only one that can survive their fire, so I think she's pretty safe.
Yeah, she went into the cremation fire of her
She survived fire.
husband and stayed there with her 3 eggs and
Yeah.
walks out naked as a jaybird, which was a great shot that everybody remembers HBO for.
Yes.
And-
That wasn't her only scene where she walked out of fire.
Where was the other?
When she was picked back up by the Dothraki, and because she was a widow, they tried to stick her with all the other Dothraki widows. I can't remember where exactly it was, but she was with all the other Dothraki widows, and then there was a big hut with all of them in it, and they were trying to decide what to do with her. Do they want to let her stay? Do they want to kill her or whatever? And she's like, I'm leaving, and she pushes over the urns of fire and burns the place down and walks out. I forget
One quite as dramatic as sitting there through a cremation fire.
No, not quite, but that's where she won the respect of all the Dothraki males that were around that encampment. That she, killed all the former widows and walked away. So they're just like, I think we'll follow her now. That's where she increased her army some, I believe.
Okay. All right, well, the police in Allendale, Michigan. How much time I got? All right. Police in Allendale, Michigan are looking for a shady guy who's been going up to random women in stores and asking if they would want to participate in a wrestling event at a nearby hotel, but the whole thing was bogus.
That's just a weird thing to ask women in general.
Here's the police.
The world is full of creeps. A guy came around the corner, asked me if I go to the gym. He says that he's having an event down the road at the sleep-in. They're looking for good-looking, physically fit women to wrestle, to wear either your gym clothes or lingerie. Again, more red flags, thinking, okay, this can't be happening. And I all of a sudden got really uncomfortable. I knew there were cameras there, so part of me was also thinking ahead as a mom that if I can keep him talking, they'd be able to capture him on the camera. And he clearly thought I was younger than I am, so that's the only good point to all of this.
You know, after hearing that woman describe the creepy guy asking her about wrestling, I seem to remember we had an ad that we heard here recently about that.
Wanted female wrestlers for an event this weekend. Do you go to the gym? Are you physically fit? Like to wrestle in gym clothes or lingerie? Then come on down to the Sleepy Inn. All women welcome, especially if you appear younger. Female wrestling this weekend in the small conference room by the elevator at the Sleepy Inn. Be there.
A Creep production.
Speaking of elevators, this is a true story.
Uh-oh.
A guy in an elevator posted a video online because a telemarketer called the emergency phone number on the elevator itself
How the hell is that possible?
to sell car insurance. They just randomly call numbers, and if you pick up, you're a target.
Yeah, but I didn't think the elevator phones accepted incoming calls.
Well, I guess this one did. So anyway, he trolled her by answering her questions and kept the conversation going.
Do you have any record of DUI, tickets, claims, or accidents?
I have 6 DUIs.
Do you have any idea of the exact date of the DUI?
It happened 3 days ago.
Okay, and this is the best phone number to reach on, right?
Yes, please call me in the elevator anytime.
It's 718-459-2072, right?
Yes, it's been great talking to you, but I'm going to get off at the 5th floor here, and I'll let the next one talk to you. Thank you.
This call originated in Vietnam.
Of course it did. Because they don't have a clue where they're calling over here.
An 18-year-old kid in New Jersey was mad about accidentally getting cut off by a school bus last month. So he punched one of the windows of the bus and shattered it while a bunch of kids between 5 and 8-year-olds were inside.
That was a dumb move.
Yeah, made them comfortable, didn't it? Here's the bus driver talking about how scared the kids were.
A car was coming up the road, and the driver locked up the brakes, so the car kind of fishtailed a little bit, and he punched that window with force. And it kind of caught me off guard, you know, because I didn't expect it. And I got choked up a little bit. I got a little scared, so the kids on the bus got scared. He was a bad man. That's what they kept saying. He was mean. They were a little crying, and they were apologetic to me. They started writing me little letters with, like, you know, an apology, at least for the children that were on the bus that he's scared, and to me.
Well, speaking of school, you remember your school lunch lady when you were in elementary school?
Vaguely.
And sat at the end of the line and took your money.
Yep.
You know, she was probably kind of like this lady here.
Have some more sloppy joes. I made them extra sloppy for you. I know how you kids like them sloppy.
Lady, you're scaring us.
Yeah, you remember that lady.
Yeah, I remember
Anyway,
that kind of a lady.
True story, a lunch lady in Pennsylvania was arrested for shooting a BB gun at a bunch of kids on Tuesday.
Okay.
It was after school, and they were at the playground near her house. She says it's because they were cursing her.
Who would do that? What kind of person would shoot BBs at little kids playing?
My granddaughter goes up there. It's like, what happens if she was up there? And you just don't know. You have to be afraid.
According to police, when a parent confronted McWilliams, she said, quote, "If I don't get them now, I will get them tomorrow at lunch."
She should be fired. She shouldn't be around kids for doing something like that. She's around kids, and then she does that to kids. I mean, your kids are at lunch. What's she going to do there?
Makes you want to watch your kids even more now. That playground they used to be fine going to, you can let them go by themselves. Now, not so sure.
Makes me wonder if I should start making my kids lunch when they go to school. I got grumpy lunch ladies in the cafeteria.
Well, you could be in New York where they have Meatless Monday to save the earth.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, we're all, in a way, nerds in that you got to survive in this world, you got to have some level of it.
Yes.
You know, with your cell phones and computers and internet and wireless and so forth and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's also the World Video Game Hall of Fame out there.
Yes.
They just announced its new inductees. They're adding 4 this year. And let's see if you can name one
of the new inductees.
I'm gonna play the sound from it.
Oh.
And you tell me what famous game this is.
Oh, okay. Oh, God, that is so familiar.
You probably played it 1,000 times.
Probably.
But you didn't pay attention to the music.
Oh, I heard it, but I always tuned it out. Or I muted it.
That was Super Mario Kart.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, that wasn't Super Mario, but it's Super Mario Kart. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the ones getting sucked into the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
All right, let's see if here's one more that's getting into the Hall of Fame. And see if you know this one.
Street Fighter.
No.
Or Mortal Kombat. Yeah, Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
I was like, it was one of the two of them because I can't remember which one or if both of them used that thing, Mortal Kombat.
A new survey also claims that the average American could save $1,500 a month if they only bought the bare essentials. Meaning you have to go without everything from Netflix to alcohol. See if you remember this scene of somebody getting down to the bare essentials.
And I don't need any of this. I don't need this stuff. And I don't need you. I don't need anything.
I don't have a clue.
Sure.
That's the only thing I need is this.
It was this guy's first movie, I believe.
This ashtray.
Not his best, but they did well.
The ashtray and a paddle game, that's all I need.
I'm pulling a complete blank. I have no clue.
Steve Martin in The Jerk.
The paddle game and the remote control, that's all I need.
Okay, yeah, now I hear it. God, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
Yeah.
It's time for me to watch it again so I remember it.
Now, you folks that go around and crack knuckles and things like that, there's a certain portion of you that crack your neck.
Yeah, I don't.
Snap your neck and you hear it.
Yeah, I don't do that intentionally.
Well, you might not want to do it at all. A 28-year-old guy from Oklahoma popped his neck the other day and somehow tore an artery in his neck that led to his brain.
I saw that headline.
He immediately suffered a stroke. He could have died, and now he's having to relearn how to use his left leg. The doctors say if you want to pop your neck safely, just do it slowly, side to side. Don't twist it sharply to the side, then up the back.
The moment I heard the pop, everything on my left side started to go numb.
He could have had a life-ending stroke.
He could have died.
He could have died.
It is difficult for me to walk with my left leg.
Is he going to always have consequences of the stroke? Probably so. You know, if you want to pop your neck, just kind of pop it side to side and don't twist it. Whenever you twist it, then there's a risk of tearing that vessel. Say my hand is his head. I suspect he just turned it real sharply and then sharp and up. And then I think when he did sharp and up, like up and back, I think that is what really pinched it.
Scary thought.
If you don't know by now, and I didn't, flushable wipes aren't actually flushable.
I knew that.
I've never used one, so I don't.
I got kids, so
Yeah.
I've used them before.
Yeah, you've been wiping butts for a long time.
Yes, a very long time.
Anyway, they're messing up sewer systems everywhere. So Canada came up with a campaign to educate people, featuring 2 mascots, and guess what the mascots' names are?
Uh-oh.
Pooh and Pee.
Our sewage system doesn't get enough respect. I think we really have to, as consumers, understand that what gets flushed doesn't just disappear. It goes down and has to be dealt with. We want people to only flush the pee and the poo because there's a whole bunch of stuff that gets flushed down the toilet that doesn't belong there.
I think the toilet paper can be flushed down the toilet. I don't know about wipes. We don't have them in the house.
The only things meant to be flushed are pee, poo, and toilet paper.
And the toilet paper basically dissolves.
Yeah, it
in the
breaks down
water.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
But those wipes are pretty thick, so I can understand why they shouldn't be flushed.
Well, they stay in one piece forever.
Not forever, but entirely too long for the sewage systems to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to go down the pipe and go all the way to the sewage treatment plant, and it goes out these little holes, and first it goes into a vat where the solids sink, and the rest of it is aerated.
Good morning, everyone. We made it to Friday. Now, this morning we have the potential for some low clouds and fog in some spots, which will burn off through the course of the morning. Later this afternoon is partly cloudy, the high in the low to mid-80s. There could be a shower south and east of Raleigh later today. Tonight is partly cloudy to mostly cloudy, perhaps some fog, the low in the mid-60s. And then Saturday, perhaps some morning clouds, a chance for some evening storms. It's very warm with mid to upper 80s, the highs. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sandhills, 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. President Trump says there is no need for White House staffers, including former White House counsel Don McGahn, to testify before Congress. Mr. Trump says special counsel Robert Mueller has already interviewed key aides, including McGahn.
I've had him testifying already for 30 hours.
The president on Fox News Night with Shannon Bream. Following days of upheaval, Venezuela appears to be sliding back into political stalemate. Under socialist rule, that once prosperous country spirals deeper into neglect, isolation, and despair. A bipartisan bill looks to remedy a dangerous migrant magnet at the southern border.
Senator John Cornyn is seeking changes to an agreement dating back to 1997.
This is called generically as the Flores Agreement.
And although he says it was very well intentioned, it's now become
a major loophole that's often exploited.
That after the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in 2016 the Flores Agreement also applied to all families,
turning it into a pull factor for illegal immigrants hoping to game the system.
Cornyn says many children are being kidnapped and used by illegals as their ticket into the U.S. Bob Agnew reporting.
A leading social media platform calls them dangerous individuals. They've been shut out.
Facebook took a forceful step against hate speech Thursday, banning a number of figures, including Louis Farrakhan, Alex Jones, and Milo Yiannopoulos. In announcing the bans, Facebook said the accounts had violated its policy against dangerous individuals and organizations. The bans apply to Facebook's main service and to Instagram, and also extend to fan pages and other related accounts.
Correspondent Mike Gracia. The April employment report due out in about a half hour, and economists believe that employers added roughly 181,000 jobs last month. On Wall Street, Dow futures are up 67 points, S&P futures 8 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
We have to talk about it.
Nope, I don't wanna.
We have to.
No.
But we need life insurance.
I am not listening to you.
So you don't love me then?
What? Oh, fine. We need life insurance, but all the paperwork, it's such a pain.
Not with Ethos.
Ethos? Is that some kind of yoga thing?
No, Ethos is life insurance for people like us.
Like us?
People who don't have time for fine print, insurance jargon, and hidden fees.
Yeah, I pretty much hate all that stuff.
Of course you do. With Ethos, you can apply online, and there's a policy for every budget.
Really?
Yes. The online application only takes 10 minutes, and you'll be taking the first step in ensuring the kids and I will be safe, even if something unexpected happens.
Ethos brings you choices that don't require an in-person meeting with an agent, and in most cases, there's no need for a doctor's appointment.
Feel better?
Yeah.
I do. Ethos, life insurance made simple. Apply online in just 10 minutes. Get a free instant quote now at ethoslife.com. That's ETHOS life.com. ethoslife.com.
1.2 million people evacuated as a powerful cyclone pummels India's eastern coastline, bringing torrential rains and winds of almost 130 miles per hour.
I'm stood at the moment outside a space in Bhubaneswar where there is nothing but fallen trees. It wouldn't even be possible for me to walk through them. There's still a few left that are billowing in the wind. And just talking to a few people in Bhubaneswar this morning, I think people have been taken by surprise by the severity of the storm here. The Indian Meteorological Department in Hyderabad has said that they believe that some of the wind speeds that we've seen have gone up to 245 kilometers, and also the length of time that it's affected a city like Bhubaneswar. And remember, we're 60 kilometers from the eye of the storm.
That's the BBC's Rahul Tandon. TV and radio stations in Uganda being targeted by the government over coverage of an opposition figure's appearance in court. News and analysis at townhall.com. A man seriously hurt after falling into the crater of a volcano in Hawaii.
The man was at the Kilauea volcano and was at the steaming bluff overlook when he
stepped over the safety railing and slipped literally off the edge into the crater.
Fire Chief Matthias Kusch told KGMB the man fell about 40 to 60 feet.
He remained until National Park Service and Hawaii Fire Department personnel rappelled down.
The chief ranger at Kilauea is reminding visitors never cross safety barriers, especially around dangerous and destabilized cliff edges. I'm Ed Donahue.
The towering actor who played Chewbacca in the original Star Wars trilogy and a couple of other movies has died. Peter Mayhew died at his North Texas home earlier in the week. The 7-foot-3-inch tall actor was 74 years old. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Carolina Air Comfort and Safety, because we care. Clean, professional, heating and cooling. Carolina Air, the friendly guys. Service, installation, and regular maintenance. Unbeatable, dependable, every time. So CarolinaAir.com. Carolina Air Comfort and Safety, because we care.
Take advantage of Carolina Air's one-time $49 maintenance special. Get an extensive 32-point inspection that includes checking air filters and thermostats, drain cleaning, and more. A tune-up prolongs the life of your heating and cooling system and prevents costly repairs. Just $49. Call Carolina Air at 910-947-7707 or visit CarolinaAir.com.
Carolina Air Comfort and Safety, because we care.
At Mamma Mia's Italian restaurant in Seven Lakes, a warm ambiance, mouth-watering cuisine, and polished service culminate in an Italian dining experience like no other. Come in for lunch starting at 11:30 for a specialty pizza, or try our exceptional baked calzone. For dinner, be prepared for a feast with scrumptious choices like barramundi Asian sea bass served on a bed of pasta with tomato, lemon, and caper sauce. Or try our delicious homemade lasagna, chicken marsala, or shrimp alfredo, all served with our hot and buttery garlic knots. We're located at 4243 in the Seven Lakes Plaza off Highway 211, or call 910-673-6900 for reservations. Make your way into Mamma Mia's Italian restaurant and see what everyone in Seven Lakes is talking about.
When we were young, we could always count on our parents for just about anything. And now, as they age, the time has come to count on us. Griswold Home Care refers only highly qualified caregivers for just a few hours of care to 24/7 live-in service. These caregivers are compassionate and experienced. Put your trust in Griswold Home Care.
Call me, Bob Bonville, at Griswold Home Care of Pinehurst. That's 910-420-2360. 910-420-2360. We've been keeping the heart at home since 1982.
Spring has sprung, and summer is fast approaching. Do you know where to go? Beaver. To get your mower serviced and ready for spring, take it to Beaver. Pressure washer won't start, blower not blowing, take it to Beaver. Trimmer won't run, chainsaw won't cut, take it to Beaver. Don't be left out. Have your equipment ready and your yard looking nice. And when your neighbor asks, tell him twice. Take it to Beaver. Beaver Equipment, located just off NC Highway 211 East in Aberdeen, or give them a call at 910-944-0402 and take it to Beaver.
NCN News. I'm Mike Riley. The body of a UNC Charlotte student whom classmates and police have called a hero for stopping a gunman in his classroom has returned home. Television footage of the police escort of 21-year-old Riley Howell showed dozens of people holding U.S. flags lining the street in his hometown of Waynesville. Larry Hudson stood along the route and tells WSOC News,
unequivocally a hero, and that's what brought me out here. It's just, he is a hero, and the respect that I have for people who put themselves before others.
President Trump is signaling the days his former aides testifying on Capitol Hill are over. Mr. Trump specifically referenced former White House counsel Don McGahn in an interview on Thursday. Politico White House reporter Daniel Lippman says it's the president applying damage control, fearing the blockbuster headlines should McGahn be in the hot seat.
You can just be seen direct from the source of, hey, look, everything I stopped from firing Mueller to interfering in the investigation.
A Republican state budget proposal is about to clear the North Carolina House, but Democrats could have much more to say about the final plan before it becomes law. The House scheduled for today the second of two votes on a 2-year budget deal. In India, over 1 million people have been evacuated amid Cyclone Fani, which made landfall today. With winds of up to 127 miles per hour, it's the worst summer cyclone there in over 40 years. Franklin Jones is head disaster management for the humanitarian organization World Vision.
The government has identified all the low-lying areas, and they have evacuated around 1.2 million people to safer locations in the camps.
A North Carolina man has been sentenced to at least 37 years in prison after pleading guilty to charges that he abused 2 children. District Attorney Ben David says that 43-year-old Sean Edward Johnson of Burgaw was convicted this week. You're listening to NCN News.
Medicaid expansion, school safety, a statewide bond package, the next state budget. North Carolina lawmakers are tackling these and other topics. You can follow all the action with Carolina Journal. How would these proposals affect you, your wallet, your family? Carolina Journal offers answers. Available each month as a free newspaper. Every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your best source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
There are millions of unused and leftover opioid pills in North Carolina alone, enough to stretch from the mountains to the coast. These powerful prescription pills are contributing to an epidemic that takes 5 lives every day. But there is something more powerful than opioids. All of us. We can take back our extra pills and ask our healthcare providers about alternatives for pain. Together, we can take back our communities. Learn how you can help end the epidemic at morepowerfulnc.org.
Federal authorities say they've arrested a Virginia man accused of lying about his ties to foreign terrorist organizations. U.S. Department of Justice spokesman Brian McGuinn confirmed Thursday that Waqar al-Hassan was arrested at Charlotte Douglas International Airport. President Trump moves to expand his anti-abortion agenda, and it's already being challenged in court.
The president revealed the rule during a National Day of Prayer speech.
We are building a culture that cherishes the dignity and worth of human life.
The 440-page rule lets healthcare professionals opt out of providing treatments they oppose, including abortion and sterilization, procedures they say violates their religious or moral beliefs. Conservatives call it conscience protections. San Francisco's suing, arguing that access to care will be undermined and costly. Critics fear the rule could end up denying medical care to women, people of color, and those in the LGBT community. Gary Nunn, CBS News.
House members have voted down another effort to make helmets optional for people 21 and over riding on motorcycles in North Carolina, with concerns and costs of head injuries winning out over arguments of choice. Fans and friends, fellow castmates are mourning the loss of actor Peter Mayhew this morning. Mayhew, who was best known for his portrayal of Chewbacca in the Star Wars movies, died on Tuesday at his home in Texas. He was 74.
His signature roar was unmistakable.
7'2", crazy, fixes things.
Peter Mayhew, the 7'2" British actor, portrayed Chewbacca in 5 Star Wars films.
It's really hard to lose someone that you love that much.
Actor Mark Hamill, who portrayed Luke Skywalker, spoke to us about his friend and co-star.
His spirit and his kindness and his gentleness was so close to what a Wookiee is.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Good morning, everyone. We made it to Friday. As we look ahead to the weekend, we do have the chance for showers and storms. Most come as we head into the evening on Saturday and especially Sunday with the cold front in the area. Now today, later on this afternoon, partly cloudy, low to mid-80s. There's a very tiny chance for showers south and east of Raleigh. For tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, mid-60s. And then Saturday, partly cloudy skies. Showers and storms are possible, but it's more likely the evening with mid to upper 80s for the highs. I'm Mike Mays in the Weather Center.
Right now, here in the Sand Hills area, we have fog and 67 degrees. Humidity 100%, 2.67. Pressure is 3012. Winds south-southwest at 5. Visibility down to 0 miles. The headlights on. It is 8:13. Let's take a look at your Sand Hills news for this Friday morning. Late Wednesday night, the Moore County Sheriff's Office and the Moore County School Police began to receive multiple reports of possible threats made through social media against Northmore High School. An unknown account created through Instagram showed disturbing images, quotes, and references to the school. Due to the disturbing nature of the accounts and possible threat to our community and school and our children, the incident was investigated by detectives. In the early morning hours of Thursday, the investigation led to a residence in the Robbins area of Moore County. There, a 17-year-old juvenile who attended Northmore High School was located and found to have been responsible for the threats. At this time, no firearms are believed to have been accessible by the juvenile, and the case is still under investigation. The 17-year-old was arrested and charged with 1 count of felony communicating a threat of mass violence on educational property. He was confined to the Moore County Detention Center under a $150,000 secured bond. And families of 75 soldiers were overwhelmed with joy as their heroes entered the Green Ramp this week after a 9-month deployment. There were tears of joy and sheer excitement as families reunited with loved ones. Fort Bragg released the following statement to WEEB. The 20th Engineer Brigade deployed to the Middle East for 9 months, serving as the Theater Engineer Brigade, orchestrating construction, security, and route clearance operations. They operated across 8 countries in support of Operation Freedom, Sentinel, Inherited Resolve, and Spartan Shield. The Castle Brigade completed over 230 mobility, counter-mobility, and survivability projects while serving the government and saving the government more than $48.3 million by using troop construction instead of contracted construction solutions. That's your latest Sand Hills news this morning, but stand by. Here comes your latest in sports right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. It is 8:16.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. We start last night in the NBA with just one playoff game, Philadelphia and Toronto. The 76ers winning to take a 2-1 lead over the Raptors in their Eastern Conference matchup. Joel Embiid scored 33 points and grabbed 10 rebounds in the victory, 116-95 over Toronto. Boston and Colorado both won their respective NHL playoff games last night to even their respective series at 2 games all. Patrice Bergeron scored 2 power play goals, and Tuukka Rask stopped 39 shots to help the Bruins dump Columbus 4-1. Out west, Nathan McKinnon ran his point streak to 8 games. He scored the game winner in the second period of the Avs' 3-0 shutout of San Jose. Carolina, they're entering tonight's game against the New York Islanders looking to complete a best-of-7 series sweep for the first time ever. The Hurricanes went up 3-0 for just the second time in franchise history when they beat the Islanders on Wednesday, 5-2 in Game 3 at PNC Arena. They're currently enjoying a 5-game postseason win streak. And Coach Rod Brindamore discussed how far he thinks they can take that good fortune.
I don't know. That remains to be seen where we take it. I think finishing the team off is always the hardest, and they're not going to go away. But we know that. These games have all been tight, 1-goal games, essentially. And it's going to be like that again on Friday.
And the Hurricanes' 5-game playoff win streak, that's just the second longest streak in consecutive playoff victories in franchise history. The most, 7. And that came during Carolina's 2006 Stanley Cup run. It spanned the first round against Montreal and the second round against New Jersey. The latter, against the Devils, was also just the one other time in franchise playoff history that the Hurricanes held a 3-0 lead in a best-of-7. both coming during the 2006 Stanley Cup playoff run. Both pretty good omens. Puck drops at 7 at PNC Arena in Raleigh in Game 4. This is NCN Sports.
The new FN 509 midsize 9mm pistol is now part of FN's legendary concealed carry lineup, and it is a natural fit. With its smaller grip frame modeled after the battle-proven million rounds tested FN 509, the FN 509 midsize comes with two 15-round magazines and naturally improves concealability. Available at your local firearms dealer. FN, the world's most battle-proven firearms.
Experience all that Charlotte Motor Speedway has to offer at the Monster Energy NASCAR All-Star Race on May 18th. The best drivers of the series compete under the lights for a night to remember. Check out all the weekend events and get your tickets now at charlottemotorspeedway.com.
Experience all that Charlotte Motor Speedway has to offer at the Monster Energy NASCAR All-Star Race May 18th. AJR will be performing at the pre-race concert and then watch the best drivers compete under the lights. Get your tickets now at charlottemotorspeedway.com.
Rory McIlroy fired a 5 under 66 for a share of the lead with Joel Damon following the opening round of the PGA's Wells Fargo Championship. McIlroy twice made birdie when he was out of position off the tee and ran off 3 straight birdies on the back nine for his lowest start in his 10 appearances at Quail Hollow. Damon holed a 15-foot birdie in the 18th hole to finish a bogey-free round. Houston Rockets guard James Harden will play in Game 3 of the NBA's Western Conference semifinal series against Golden State tomorrow. That despite injuries to both eyes. It occurred when he was hit by Draymond Green during the first quarter of Game 2, but he finished the Rockets' 104-100 loss to the Warriors. It was clear that last year's MVP was struggling as he squinted under the light while answering questions about it. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
This is your Money Minute. I'm Steve Siddall. A Social Security Administration employee has admitted he accessed numerous accounts and falsified records so he could steal nearly $100,000 from the agency. The feds say that between 2014 and 18, he fraudulently reinstated benefits for some people, changed their addresses to one he could access, then pick up the prepaid debit cards issued to them. Do we need to worry about the safety of our Social Security? For answers, we called on America's Wealth Coach and best-selling author, Coach Pete D'Arruda. Coach, what about this one?
Well, Steve, it's safe to assume there's thieves everywhere these days.
Oh, my gosh,
nothing's safe if you get thieves inside the government agency that has access. Think about it. Social Security Administration, what do you think he has access to?
Everything.
Your Social Security number.
Yeah.
That's what we try to protect all the time. Really, the number one thing, and there's nothing we can do about it but be vigilant and protect our identity as much as we can, but also pay attention if we see some red flags, like you get calls from people you don't know that are telling you have debt that you don't know about. But then we look at retirement. We want to make sure that our broker isn't stealing our retirement money too, or have us in the wrong place. We call them financial termites. So the first thing we do is we protect your portfolio. We establish protection. We establish what you're going to need for retirement. We build a true retirement plan inside your financial plan that gives you income planning. It makes sure your 401ks and IRAs are behaving properly, and their main purpose was to give you a retirement income. So let's make sure they really do have a retirement income component. I've seen about 90% of 401ks and IRAs that don't have income built into them. We can roll that money into a true income plan if we do the right thing, if we analyze that and we make sure. So if you're curious about what kind of income you can get through retirement, not just what your lump sum is, give me a call today. I'll also give you my 3-book set and my 401k survival box set when you come in.
Sounds great, Coach. 888-456-7577 is the number. 888-456-7577. Or just text RETIRE to 21,000. That's RETIRE to 21,000.
Investment advisory services offered through Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
Hey there, cats and kittens. Grab your poodle skirt and leather jacket, hop in the hot rod, and head to the Temple Theater for Grease, on stage from April 25th through May 12th. The world's most popular musical comes alive on the Temple stage. Danny and Sandy and the rest of Rydell High's class of 1959 sing and dance their way through songs that have come to define a generation. Tickets for Grease are available online at templeshows.com or at the Temple box office. Sponsored by Norman Financial, Post Fouché Patton, and Miss Lacey's Magnolia House. Grease on stage April 25th through May 12th.
Serving more people, more places, 24/7. If your AC breaks down, we'll restore your indoor heaven. Installation or repair, one call will be there. It's your family, don't delay. Comfort's just a call away. We're Comfort Services. Comfort Services.
Come to Comfort
Comfort Services in Aberdeen to get a free estimate on a new Carrier system or heat pump, and you may qualify for a rebate up to $2,000 from Carrier. Get in on the savings and purchase a qualifying heating or cooling product before the Cool Cash rebate ends June 30th. You may also qualify for financing options as well. Stop into Comfort Services on Highway 5 next to the Habitat store in Aberdeen, or call 910-695-2665. Carrier and Comfort Services, a great team.
Comfort's just a call away. Comfort Services.
If you have inflammation, you know how painful it can be. Just imagine how painful it is for your pet, even though they never complain. Anti-inflammatories work, but are even harder on your pet's organs than yours. Thankfully, there's an alternative that more and more people are using to treat pain, but often don't realize is great for pets too. I'm talking about CBD oil and treats from Flowland. Come into Flowland and let's discuss how CBD oil and treats can benefit a range of issues for your pet. Issues like arthritis, anxiety, appetite, digestion, seizures, mood, and more. You shouldn't be paying an arm and a leg for one of nature's most beneficial products. Flowland, your best and most affordable source for CBD products for humans and pets. On US 1 North in Aberdeen.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. I've been very blessed in my life. There's really no way I could ever have hoped to have had as much fun as I've had. There have been some I can't go on moments, don't get me wrong, but after all, overall, I've been blessed. One of the things that I got to do was work with various police departments in the United States. One of those was the NYPD for several months. During that time, I got to know lots of unbelievable cops and see some of the heroic things they do. The problem was, because I grew up in South Texas and I didn't speak New York, I was in the dark a great deal of the time. I'll give you an example. Anytime you ask these guys I was working with anything, you always got the same answer. I could have asked them if we were meeting at 7 in the morning, or I could have asked them, "Excuse me, what is the meaning of life?" It was always the same answer, and I know I can't do a New York accent, but they'd answer with, "What, are you kidding me?" I never knew if the victim was dead, if we were on our way to the headquarters, or if we were going to stop and eat. I never knew what was going on. When I got to know them a little better, I told them they were killing me. They could need to come up with another answer. All right, let's change the subject. Some of you have asked me if I'm going to quit this school investigation, even if no one's prosecuted. I think you know how I'm going to answer that. What, are you kidding me? Good weekend from the Zoom World Zone.
Good morning, everyone. We made it to Friday. Now, this morning we have the potential for some low clouds and fog in some spots, which will burn off through the course of the morning. Later this afternoon is partly cloudy, the high in the low to mid-80s. There could be a shower south and east of Raleigh later today. Tonight is partly cloudy to mostly cloudy, perhaps some fog, the low in the mid-60s. And then Saturday, perhaps some morning clouds, a chance for some evening storms. It's very warm with mid to upper 80s, the highs. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the Leader Man. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
Derby Day.
You guys, it's Kentucky Derby week.
Can you make a lot of money with this horse racing thing? I have never bet on horse racing.
The Kentucky Derby is this weekend, and it's one of the biggest events of the spring.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Today's Friday. Once again, Friday morning.
And thank God it's Friday.
The weekend.
Just around the corner.
Can't wait to get my drink on tonight. Tonight we're gonna party like it's 1999. Again.
Party, 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 party.
Party time.
And also,
It's show time.
When you feel down and out, sing a song, it'll make your day.
Good. Yeah.
That was a good morning.
Good morning. Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It is time once again for Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams. Dorothy McClicken for the Colonel this morning. And don't forget, of course, this program being heard and seen around the world on a live video stream. That's available to you right now at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is where the link's located that will get you there. If you're on a mobile device, well, you can always get us with your YouTube app. Just put Mornings with the Leader Man into the search. Now, if you're just looking audio to cut that bandwidth down, you can do that too. Many streaming services will do it for you. Just put Mornings with, put WEEB into that search on streaming things like TuneIn, iTunes, Streamlab. Alexa will do it by command, so will Google. You just use WEEB as your search parameters to get the results you want. And then you can always get it also off of our website at talk973.com. Top right-hand corner of every page has an icon that says, on the air, listen live. Just click it once and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills area. Well, the rain and muggies move in. Sunshine moves out. Mostly cloudy today. Scattered thunderstorms and showers. High of 84. Dew points in the 66, 68 range. That's never good.
Nope.
Mostly cloudy tonight. More scattered thunderstorms, low of 67. Tomorrow, more of the same, but less of a chance. 30% chance. High of 86. Tomorrow night, 69. Still a chance of scattered thunderstorms. Sunday, those storms will start to dissipate somewhat. A little bit. It'll be 50% chance during the morning hours and start to decline during the afternoon hours. It will be partly cloudy by overnight. And a high Sunday of 83. Right now around the Sandhills, winds are south-southwest at 5. Visibility at 0 miles at the airport.
I believe it. It was like pea soup coming in this morning.
Yeah. So headlights on. They
might need to get the white cane out, too. It was thick.
Humidity at 100%. Dew point 67. That's not good.
Yep.
But it's cool right now. Pressure is 3012. It's foggy, 67 degrees. Currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, it is 8:29 past the hour on this Friday. The Colonel is Jeff Drummond's off today. So
I hijacked his seat.
Yeah. So Dorothy, our office manager here, who runs everything, is here. We also affectionately call her Geek Girl because she's married to the geek and can speak geek.
A little bit. I know enough to be dangerous.
Yeah. And then when I'm stuck, I call her.
And when I'm stuck, I call him.
That's about the gist of it. And if they're really stuck, they ask their kids.
Yeah, pretty much.
So anyway, what was it I was going to talk about? Oh, yeah. The pathetic pilot. They, of course, their editorial this week is all wrong. One thing they don't do very well, have you noticed, because I look at the news items and all that, they write more fluff pieces. Mm-hmm. Kind of like their magazines, like Pine Straw and things like that. They're getting more fluff stuff. It's kind of like a short version of one of those magazines on a daily basis. And if they have a little news, they mix that in. If they got an editorial, they get it wrong and put that in. And I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know what they're doing either.
They're sure not reporting much.
I've wondered what they were doing for years.
And they're not interested in any facts. And that's why we have the facts for you, because we're the ones that have been digging it up so they can pick and choose. They use our website for their news source. They did it all through the campaign, even though all the facts were there, they would lay it at my feet in case anything was wrong because they didn't have the guts to get it themselves. But right now, the school issue is the big issue. We're being played. were owed $1.5 million. There's no question about it because the statutes weren't followed. There's a time in the statutes it says any withdrawal of a bid must be done within 72 hours. Not 12 days later. You can't do it 12 days later under any circumstances, according to the statutes. So we want $1.5 million. We seem to be desperate for money all the time. Why are we giving it away? You cash in on that insurance policy that came with the bid. And if the insurance company's got a problem with it, they can take it up with the contractor. But in the meantime, they pay on the insurance. Otherwise, you turn it over to the insurance commissioner. Not like they say in the pilot, oh, then you got to litigate it. You got to go to court. You may or may not win and blah, 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 blah. No, you're going to get paid on your insurance. Just the way it works. Statutes were not followed by the contractor. Therefore, we're due our $1.5 million on the bid bond because it cost us money to go to the next bidder.
Yeah.
And, that's what we're advocating. Let's follow the law. It's there for a reason. We're entitled to our $1.5 million, and doggone it, we're going to collect. And if the insurance company doesn't want to pay, then you turn it over to the insurance commissioner, who has the muscle to snatch their license to do business in North Carolina away from them. And we'll see which they want to do. Play that game or pay their policy.
Yeah.
You don't have to pull it out of the school till to go litigate it. But that's what the pilot would, because they want to scare you, just like the school board, who has yet to be on top of their business one time. They're let the tail wag their dog so long they've forgotten what it's like to manage. And they got these bid sets that were just set up to get screwed. They got in there on these bids, the contractor will put down, okay, we give you an allowance of 1% or $300,000 for contingencies. Well, in all contracts I did, the builder builds in contingencies into his budget. He doesn't lay it out there for the other side to eat. And these contingencies are things that you didn't anticipate happening, that there's no way to anticipate. For example, give you a different example than I've done other times. All right, here's an example. Okay, you pour floor, part of the floor, and then when you come in and start setting the fixtures and everything, you learn that, well, one of the sewer outlets is 2 inches off. Okay. Well, the floor then has to be jackhammered, pipes extended to get it in the right place, and repoured around that new fixture.
Right.
That's a contingency. And, but you don't pass that on to the school. They didn't make the problem. Well, let's suppose we get an excessive amount of rain and it does some damage inside during the construction. Or somebody left something out and it got damaged. Well, that's a contingency.
Yeah.
And you don't pass that on to the customer. And in most cases, contingencies. So what's going to happen is, usually in a contract, in a home building process, there's about anywhere from 5 to 10% contingencies in there. And builders who got their stuff under control can get away with 5%. But it's going to take that 5% because you don't know when it's going to rain. You don't know when the wind's going to blow excessive.
You never know when a tornado is going to hit.
Or a hurricane.
I say, or a hurricane sneaks up on you.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you got trees falling. Well, there are new trees there. They cleared them all out. But
you never know what could be damaged.
Exactly.
Water does a lot of damage.
But the point is, it's going to cost about anywhere from $1.5 million to $3 million in contingencies on these schools. They only gave you $300,000. So guess where that difference is going to come from?
Yeah.
Your hip pocket. They're going to say, okay, price overruns on this project is so-and-so X dollars. And you have to pay because you only had $300,000 in contingencies. A, they didn't give you enough for contingencies if we do have to pay it. And B, we shouldn't be paying it. They should. But this thing's written in their favor. And we have a construction director I'm the director of construction, John Braff, who worked for Harnett County Schools. And I remember when Dick Pacerno called, they were jumping up and down with joy that we hired him away.
Really?
Yes. Nick had said one time that when he was on the commissioners, he said as long as he was on payroll, the school wasn't going to get a dime of county money to build the schools. That's how much turned off he was to him. And plus, he also used to work for the very architect that got the contract for school number 1, school number 2, school number 3, school number 4. Things just don't smell right, do they?
No.
Not saying any law was broken, but I'd like to see we're checking into the bidding process and how that architect firm got all 4.
Yeah, that is kind of a good question.
Yeah.
Because I thought they like to spread that kind of joy around to different architects and stuff.
Well, you just want legitimate bids and get the lowest price.
Yeah.
And when bids are coming in within $2,000 of each other, you're not getting legitimate bids.
Yeah.
It's all been fixed as to who's going to get the contract by the bidders.
Yeah.
And that needs to be checked out because we're getting played. All the evidence is there. The pilot can't see it. The school board's not smart enough to see it. If they don't want to see it, they don't want to be made to look bad. Instead of looking out after us, they're CYAing everything. And we're going to get to the bottom of it. If you want to see the process, we have the latest up there on our website. You go to talk973.com. All the supporting documents to everything we're saying's there, as well as John's latest extended Zoom Vault zone. So you can hit the play button and hear it. We kept that uploaded every time he makes an appearance. So don't know when it'll be back. I know it'll be back next Wednesday, but it may be back before then. We'll see as more evidence gets uncovered. So it's right there at talk973.com if you want to see it, because you sure won't see it in the pilot. A real story in the pilot, come on. They still think taxing cars is a good idea for sidewalks. And as I told you before, it's a poor way of doing it. It's just a backdoor tax is what it is. That will never, ever go away. Once it's there, you know how it happens. It never goes away. And guess what? It only goes up.
Yeah.
And there'll be no end to it. And the best way to do sidewalks is to let the property owners that are benefiting from it pay for it. If it's going down one street, then both property owners on both sides pay for the sidewalk. And if it's like Raleigh, to give them 10 years, you can add a payment process to the your water bill, so you pay a little more higher water rates. An extra $20 or $30 a month. And you got 10 years to pay it off. So you don't have to pay anything, and it'll get paid at the next closing on that property if it sells. Otherwise, you get a big lump sum at the end of 10 years that you got to pay. So there are many options that you can do, but those that are benefiting from it pay for it. Because it's obvious that the guy across town is not going to be walking on that sidewalk, so why should he have to pay for it? But if they put one across town, then let him pay for it.
Gotcha.
So anyway, that's, pilot's not bright enough to look at a totality of a situation and come up with a better solution than that dumb idea from the town manager that says, let's tax all the cars at $5 a piece. And the council going, that might be a good idea. Because we don't want to overrule staff. We're afraid of our staff. Gonad up between them all to get it done. And it's sad to say that. And that's just why the state is putting in legislation to cut these staff people off. They're not elected. They're not accountable. The council is, but they're not doing their job by keeping their staff under control. They never, ever, ever, ever overrules bad staff decision. They just don't do it. In fact, they'll rally around them and support it because we do no wrong and we're afraid to piss them off. And it's time that we stand up to them and say, this is a bad, dumb idea. No. But they just keep on entertaining it. Well, we'll have to go up on taxes. Well, duh. If you want more sidewalk, yeah, somebody's got to pay for it somehow.
Yep.
But bring in some experts. Look at other counties. Look at the way other people are doing it. And then choose the best one that fits here. And the $5 car tax is a poor choice. Just reeks of lack of imagination, for one thing.
Yes, I agree with that one.
All right, let's go to rim shots this morning.
Okay.
Because we get Dorothy rolling on the floor here in laughter.
Uh-oh.
If that's possible.
We'll see.
We're going to try our best. Let me pull up my rim shot sounder. And if Windows can catch up with me, I'm faster than the computer. Did you know that? That's why I'm always waiting on Windows.
Of course.
And I got a Ferrari computer down here.
Well, you might want to upgrade your Ferrari before long.
i7 processors?
Well,
that's fast. The only thing it didn't have.
Apparently not. You keep having to wait on the computer. If it's so fast, it should be done before you think about it.
I would think so, but you know how it is. All right, rim shots. That's what we're doing, right?
Yeah, that's what you said.
Let me do a house cleaning so I can get them up here fast. All right, Kate McKinnon may be leaving Saturday Night Live, thankfully for the show. They still have tons of other funny people like, they're screwed pretty much. In a surprise wedding Wednesday night, Joe Jonas married Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones. And an even bigger surprise for Sophie, everyone at the wedding survived.
Oh, that was horrible. She was lucky.
What part does she play?
Sansa.
Which is?
Stark? Redhead?
Okay. Jon Snow's sister.
Jon Snow's sister.
Yeah. I guess
Haven't you not been paying attention?
Well, there are 20 main characters, and, they killed off half of them. So.
Only half. You should see that the list is narrowed down. You should know who everybody is that's left.
You would think, but they don't give them common names.
It's not a common show.
Like John, well, they give one, John.
Yeah.
Or Steve, or Dorothy, or, no, there's Sansa.
Well, it could be more complicated.
Yeah. Could be Arabic.
True.
And then it's... Okay.
Or German or Russian,
CBS renewed The Price is Right for the 48th season. Good gracious. How long does it take America to learn the cost of rice-a-roni? I just don't know. The Kentucky Derby is tomorrow. By the way, it's going to be raining all day tomorrow at the Derby. The winner will eventually wind up on a stud farm, and the loser, well, in a taco burrito, I guess. Tomorrow is May 4th, also known as Star Wars Day.
Yep.
You want to mess with a Star Wars fan? Tell them to live long and prosper.
Oh, hardy har har.
Taco Bell is selling bikinis inspired by hot sauce packets.
Why?
The irony is that if you want one, you probably wouldn't look good in it. So, scientists discovered 200,000 new viruses in the ocean.
Okay.
Still fewer viruses than on a Kardashian, but, Experts say having sex right away is actually a good way to start a relationship.
Okay.
I agree. It's a lot less expensive than seeing Avengers, and it's 2 hours and 59 minutes shorter.
That's horrible. Jeez.
For the first time, that's when the woman complains, say, no, I can't go there. It's funny. For the first time in the U.S., a donor kidney was delivered to surgeons via a drone. The recipient got an email from Amazon offering other organs that he also may like. And that's your rim shots for today.
Amazon has everything.
Pretty much. You ever wonder where people get their names?
Yes.
For example, LL Cool J.
Yeah.
Now, can you imagine you're sitting down one day and you need a stage name? You say, hey, man, let me see. I think I'll call myself LL Cool J. Well, what a stupid name is that?
Oh, there's a lot of them out there that I look at and wonder, where did you come up with this?
The guy's name is James Todd Smith. You know, Cool ATS would be a whole lot better. But no, he goes, LL Cool J stands for Ladies Love Cool James.
I had no idea what his LL stood for. I never even think I thought about what it might stand for, to be honest.
And is Iggy Azalea.
Uh-huh.
Where did that come from? Iggy was her dog's name, and Azalea was the street name that her family lived on, which is, as everyone knows, is how you pick your porn name. But she claims the Iggy came from people accidentally calling her by her pet's name, and she chose Azalea to balance out the masculinity of Iggy. I'm not buying it, but...
Okay. That sounds like she pulled two words out of a hat of words.
Calvin Broadus. You know who that is?
Not a clue.
Yeah, Calvin sat down on the couch one day and went, I think I'll call myself Snoop Dogg, man.
Oh. I should have known that.
His family called him Snoopy because he thought he bore a resemblance to the Peanuts character. Yeah, they both look pretty stupid. Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, I forget how she got her name.
Her name's Karen Elaine Johnson. But she wanted a, quote, fun name. She said, quote, if you get a little gassy, you got to let it go. So people used to say to me, you're like a whoopee cushion.
Okay. That's weird.
Yeah. Belcalis Marlinus Almazar.
That sounds like somebody smacked a keyboard and then turned it into a name.
Yeah, that's her real name. She goes by Cardi B.
Oh.
Cardi B came from a nickname she picked up as a kid.
Okay. At least it's pronounceable. Cardi B.
Austin Post. You know who that is?
Can't say that I do.
Post Malone.
Who?
Post Malone.
Okay.
He's some white rapper.
Oh, okay. I'm going, I have no idea who Post Malone is.
With literally tattoos all over his face.
Oh, that's stupid.
He said he was 14 and he needed an alias. So, quote, I ran Austin Post, my real name, through a random rap name generator and got Post Malone.
Well, that's how all the good guys rap guys get their names. They run it through a random name generator.
I mean, he makes a ton of money at it, but, you know, I wouldn't listen to 10 seconds of his music. It just sucks to me. Can't understand a word of it.
I can't say that I've ever heard it.
So anyway, and Queen Latifah says Latif means delicate and very kind in Arabic, and she liked the juxtaposition of that next to the boldness of Queen. So when you're talking to her, you go, do you call her Queen or Latif?
I have no idea.
Hey, Queen, come here.
For all I know, people call her Queenie or something.
Miss Latifah, please.
What stars do, or famous people do. Make this common people wonder.
And Kelly Clarkson isn't just an American Idol, she's an American badass because she hosted the Billboard Music Awards Wednesday night and performed twice knowing her appendix had to come out.
Oh, good for her. She's a slight bit crazy for doing so.
She'd been suffering from appendicitis all week, and hours after the show, she couldn't take it anymore. She tweeted, quote, I'm not going to lie, I may or may not have broken down in tears after the show from pain. But I flew home directly after the event, nailed the surgery early this morning, and I'm feeling awesome now. Bye-bye appendix. It sounds like she planned to have the procedure after the show, and it wasn't an emergency thing. Now,
I was going to say, you can attest to, bad appendix.
Yeah, I had one burst and fused to my intestines. And I didn't feel any pain. It was just a real yucky, awful feeling.
Yeah, I know. I remember you coming in here and you looking like death warmed over.
Yeah. And I said, go look up the symptoms of appendicitis. And she came down. I had about 8 of them.
At which point you went to the hospital. I didn't see you again for like
3
days.
months.
I came and visited you in the hospital. Shoot.
Well, I'm talking about I didn't get back to work for 3 months. Because
it was awful.
Tried 3 times to kill me.
You were just a pain in the derriere, so you wouldn't go anywhere.
I had a lousy doctor. Awful, lousy doctor. Who literally tried to kill me. Through incompetence.
I was going to say, hopefully it wasn't intentional. He was just incompetent.
Yeah, he was very incompetent. All right. Let's see. Not so sure I want to chase bad guys today. We could, but...
It's Friday, though. Do you really want to chase bad guys on a Friday?
Do we?
I don't know. Do you?
Let's do this.
And now it's time for...
Random facts.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Now that you got your fingers in the air, you get your 4 random facts, plus maybe a spare.
Uh-oh.
Schapidi is the German word for the crazy idea that only sounds good when you're drunk.
Okay.
Britney Spears is an anagram for Presbyterian. She's not Presbyterian, though. She was raised Baptist and dabbled in Kabbalah as an adult. The 4th president of the U.S., James Madison, and the 12th president, Zachary Taylor, were second cousins. That makes them closer than Teddy Roosevelt and Franklin Roosevelt, who were 5th cousins. Studies have found that the middle stall in the public restroom is usually the dirtiest. The first stall is the cleanest.
Yeah, because nobody ever wants to use the first stall because they figured it's the dirtiest.
Yeah. So how wrong you are. The first time Google changed its logo to one of its doodles was August 30th of 98, 6 days before they even incorporated the company. The doodle was in honor of Burning Man, which is where the 2 founders were going that weekend. And that's your random facts for today.
Okay.
That was a thrilling. Okay. You being a hip mom and all that.
My kids might debate you on that one.
Dating today is so complicated that people have to invent new words to describe all the ways it screws with you. The newest term is tickle ghosting.
Tickle ghosting?
Yeah. You're a hip mom? What is that? I don't know.
I haven't got a clue.
It's different than ghosting, when someone suddenly vanishes and stops responding to your messages.
Right.
With tickle ghosting, they don't totally vanish. They just take forever to respond to you. And that basically strings you along and drives you crazy in the process.
They got to come up with a new term for everything, don't they?
Well, maybe I didn't see it for half
Maybe I was busy.
Yeah.
Maybe my phone died. Maybe I left my phone somewhere else.
Well, these kids today, man, they can't take 2 steps without having to check their messages.
Well, half of them can't walk without staring down at their phone.
Well, their whole life's between their eyeballs and the front of their phone. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
The term comes from a woman's post on Reddit. She says, quote, I can't say he fully ghosted me because he would occasionally send me a message and didn't remove me from any social media. But that made things worse because she never knew exactly where she stood with him. And she spent 2 months agonizing over the relationship before she finally broke down and gave up.
Didn't ever dawn on her to just flat out ask?
Yeah, well, she's just a slow learner.
It's just one of those makes me think, you just couldn't say, hey, are we doing something or not?
And how old does your kid have to be before you finally can trust them to do all the stuff you're so sick of doing for them? The survey asked parents for ages when they trust their kids and win different tasks and responsibilities.
Okay.
Here are the results. Dress themselves.
Oh, I like pick it out and put it on?
Yeah.
I'm 3, 4 years old.
7.
What?
Use internet with supervision.
Well, for me, that's going to be in the double digits.
9 years. Study independently for a test.
By the time they're in middle school?
10 and a half.
Yeah, middle school.
Pack their own lunch.
I'll start that as soon as possible, like 6, 7, but I'm sure that most folks wait till later.
11. Walk to and from this bus stop alone.
Well, considering my bus stop's at the end of my driveway, they could start that in kindergarten.
Average is 11 years. Do their own laundry.
I'd say you probably start around 10.
12. And own a cell phone.
Own a cell phone or use a cell phone? Because mine didn't get theirs until...
Own.
I say they... 13.
12. And stay at home unsupervised.
Probably 10, 11, but...
13.
Huh.
Get a job. 13. And use the internet unsupervised.
When they move out.
13. So it goes for this Friday this week. Have yourself a great, safe weekend. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow, Monday, for a Mundane Monday. Until then, be sure to support all the mom and pop businesses here on our airways because they are the backbone of our economy here in Moore County. Your money will stay here, roll over, and create jobs. So don't forget, millions of Americans have fought and they have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. Live today worthy of their and their family sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader, and the Leader Man, Dick the Dog, and Colt the Dog will all see you at 2 this afternoon at the Dog Park. Thanks, Dorothy, for fitting in for the Colonel.
Hey, it was been fun.
And we'll see you
We'll have
next
to do
week.
it again.